Hello, Will Chandler here. So today we got a video on reading the My Budget screen. So we've entered three budget items in and we're gonna go over interpreting them on the budget screen. So let's get to it.
Brought to you by Mazuma Pro, a lifetime money plan. All right, welcome back to this tutorial. Today we're going to cover the weekly detail screen in the My Budget section of the app. So remember last time we had entered three budget items, three expense budget items. Food every week for $100, car payment every month for $250, and mom's birthday every August for $150. So we're going to go and we're going to view those in the budget and see what that looks like. So we're just going to tap the three horizontal line hamburger menu button there, and it's going to pull up the main menu. There it is. And then you're going to select My Budget. That will allow you to view your budget. There, so it pulls up the My Budget screen. So if you look at the top, it says My Budget and Weekly Details. Now, it says weekly details because there's 9 different views that you can look at your budget. You can look at weekly summary, weekly category, and weekly details. You can look at monthly summary, monthly category, monthly details, and yearly summary, yearly category, and yearly details. So, this tutorial is going to cover just the weekly details view. So, if you look down in the budget here, you see on the first line there, it has July 2020 and then July 17th to the 23rd. So that's 1 week. So if you look on the calendar, you'll notice that that starts on a Friday and it ends on a Thursday. So all budget items, all budget terms, should I say, weekly, monthly, or yearly, start on a Friday and end on a Thursday. So most people get paid on Friday, and that's why it starts on a Friday. So let's look down here. So before this week, we really have nothing in the budget. You notice you go down and it says starting balance $0. So that $0 will have whatever dollar amount is in your bank account. Once you attach your bank account to here, it will put the starting balance there. And then if you follow down, you see that there's 3 columns between there. You have the budgeted column, and you have the activity column, and you have the remaining column. So the budgeted column will fill in the amount you budgeted, and then as you assign transactions to it, those will fill in on the activity side of the budgeted item, and then it will calculate how much remaining you have to spend. And if it's green, you still have stuff left, and if it's red, you overspent. So to follow the budgeted items down, you have the starting balance is $0. And then what will it do? If you notice, that first gray line is income. So there's nothing under income, so it's 0. And then expense, you have budgeted 0. So it will add in the income, subtract out the expense, and then on the left-hand column there, you will have the budgeted balance. So since this is the current week, the activity balance is the one that is highlighted. So the activity balance, that's your actual available balance with all of the transactions that's come into the app. It's added in all the income, it's subtracted out all the expenses, and that is actually your running balance. So what you're trying to do is you want to make sure that your activity balance at the end of the week is higher than your budgeted balance. And that means that you beat your budget. So, and then that activity balance carries down to the next starting balance. So you notice on July 20th, July 2020, the next line is black. Well, the current week, the current month, or the current year that we're in, it will have the brown background like you see in the previous line. All of the other weeks will have the black background. That's so the current week stands out. Now, the second line you notice is July 24th to July 30th. So it's black and it's in the future. And if you go down and look at the budget area of the screen, notice there is nothing over in activity and remaining. There's no zeros, there's no nothing. That's because this is the future, okay? This is the part of the budgeting app that is going to really make a difference for you. Everything below this line, everything after the current week, that's your future budget. So the line would read just on the left-hand side. So remember that $0 balance carried down from the previous week. So we have a starting balance of $0. Okay. Now, if you follow this budget down, if you look at the income, there's $0. And then you look at expense, it has $100 there. So now the gray line is a total of all of the expenses for that week. So it matches actually the food right now because you only have one expense in. In a normal budget, there's going to be multiple expenses there, so they will all add up so you can see the total under expense. Now, remember we put food in $100 a week. So see how food shows up here. So if you live through this week the way you budgeted, you start with zero balance, you spend $100, and now your new balance is minus $100 because you did not have income. Now, obviously, the bank is not going to let you spend to minus $100, right? So before you get to this week, from last week to this week, you're going to have to get $100 in your account to make that zero instead of negative 100. But right now we have no income, we have nothing, so we're just going to look at how it adds up and how you see it adding up in the budget. So notice this week you have food, $100, ending balance $100, negative $100. So now that budget, since you're budgeting right now and you're negative $100, it'll carry down to the next week, the starting balance, negative $100. And then if you go down that line, notice that it has $100 for food. And then now the new ending balance is $200. And then if we keep scrolling down, you notice it goes to the next week, August 2020, the 7th to the 13th. Notice the $200, negative $200 carries down to the starting balance of the next week. So now you've had 2 weeks go by of $100 in food. So you would be negative $200 by then. So now we're into the next week. It's the third week now from now. And if you see, you start with the minus $200. And then if you go down, you see now there's two expenses in there. You have $350 worth of expense you got to pay this week. You have the $100 for food. There it is. And then now your car payment is due for $250. So now this week you have $350 in expenses. And then notice it started balance of minus 200, and then now you spent another 350. So now your current balance would be minus $550. Now remember, we started with $0 and we don't have any income or nothing. So all this is doing is subtracting out all of your expenses. So that's one of the strategies you can use, is entering in all of your expenses, and then you can look and see how much money you need to make in your lifetime to make that happen. And we'll look at that in a moment. So notice now we keep going down, and you had the food and car payment. Now you're sitting at a minus $550. And we're going to keep going. So now it carries through to the next week. See that 550 carries down to the starting balance of the next week. And then we keep scrolling through there. You notice you go down that week and you see the expenses is $250. You have $100 budgeted for food, and then you have the $150 that was budgeted for mom's birthday. So now the ending balance carries down to minus $800. So you see the food got put in your budget every single week, $100. And notice that the car payment got put in just that 1 month. And notice that mom's birthday got put in just in that week. And then if you keep scrolling down, the car payment will show up again down there. So we're just going to scroll through here slowly. See the minus $800, and then the minus 800, it carries down to the starting balance, to the next one. And then see you got your $100 in food expenses, and now you got a minus 900 potential balance there. And then it carries down, and then you got food again there. Now you're at minus 1,000. And then it carries down the 1,000, the minus 1,000. And then now you're the next month out, and then boom, there the car payment comes back up again. And then there's your food still every week. So now you're minus $1,350. So you keep going. Now we're into September, right? And you keep going. There's your $100 again for food. Notice now Mom's birthday's not here, right? See, there's food again. It just keeps scrolling down and adding and subtracting out. There's food again. So you got 3 weeks in a row of just food. And then there's the car payment again. So from there to then, we've had the car payment, we've had the food every week, we've had the car payment 2-3 times, and we had Mom's birthday come up. So that's how you read down the budget screen. So now obviously this is negative. So what does this tell me right here, since I don't have any kind of income or anything in here? These are only my bills I put in here. So what this tells me is that between now and October 2nd to October 8th, so by the 8th of October, I need $2,000 in the bank. Otherwise, I'm negative and I'm not going to be able to buy that stuff. So red is bad. Green is good, right? So right now, our budget's running red because we have no income. Now, here's something else that is very nice that you can do. So if you go on any of these budget items here, notice the food. I'm just going to tap on food real quick, and it's going to pull up all of the transactions that I've assigned to food for this period of time. So food is every week on Friday. Transactions for 10/2 to 10/8. Once you assign transactions to this particular food date, they'll fall right here in the transaction date. But notice below there says there are no transactions for this time period. So we're going to X out of that. So on this particular screen, you can see what transactions have been assigned to that particular item. So we'll X out of that. Now we're going to click, we're going to tap and hold on the food line. And then that's going to pull up a whole different menu. So if you just tap and hold on it, okay, it's going to pull up the activity for food. Now, if you go down, you can see what you have. We have budgeted an average of $43 a week. Now, the reason for that is it's only a partial year. So technically, we have, this is showing that we've averaged $43.40 for the whole year, even though our budget's only started for half of a year. So, and then you notice here, budgeted average per month is $191. And then the total budgeted for this year, you've budgeted $2,300 total for food for this year. And then you follow down, and then you got the selected week, which is the week that we're on. You got the activity to date. You got the month activity to date, and then the year activity to date for this particular selected time. So, and then if you go down to the following section, you got the selected year, the weekly average, and then the selected year, the monthly average. So this information you can use if you got to adjust your budget up or down or anything. You can see the activity and you can be like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't budget enough for that. So that's how you can get to the activity on each different item. So we will X out of that. And then notice you could do it for the car payment also. It gives you the car payment every month on the 8th. And then if you hold on it, it pulls up the activity and it gives you the averages and all of that stuff. And you can X out of that. Now, it can also do it for the expense item and the income item. So if you just tap on expense, boom, it's going to pull up. So there's no expenses. You haven't had any expenses assigned this week. You can X out of that. And then if you tap and hold it, It's going to pull up the average. So now this is the average and stuff of all of your expenses. So if you just type on the expense category, you can get all of your expenses, and you can look at the averages for the week, the month, the activity to date for the week, the month, and the year, and then your average per week and your average per month for this year. So that is a beautiful, beautiful feature there. So we'll X out of that. So now that's how you read most of the budget. Now let's look into the future a little bit. So you can go, like I said, this goes way into the future. So you can scroll into the future, right? And you can scroll into the future and just look at it week by week, month by month. Or let's see, let's go 5 years into the future. So if you look at the top right hand there, there's a calendar. And if you select on that calendar, it's a jump to calendar. So you can jump to whatever date that you would like. So we're going to tap on that, and then we're going to tap on the year, and then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to jump out 5 years. And then we are going to select OK. So now notice here. Notice we have jumped out to July 2025, the week of July 18th to July 24th. Now, notice our starting balance is negative $33,000. That is where the money's at. So, from in this 5-year period for food, the car payment, and mom's birthday, we have budgeted $33,000. So between now and then, we need to make $33,000 just to make the food, mom's birthday, and the car payment. Does that make sense? Great. So let's go a little bit further out. Let's select the calendar again, and we will select the year. And let's go out to 2045. Let's go another 20 years out. Now we're going to be 25 years into the future. And we will select 2045, and we're still on July for 2045. Select OK. Now look, July 2045. Week of July 21st to July 27th. And what does that show? Starting balance of minus $140,400. So in the next 25 years, you need to save $140,000, or you need to make rather $140,400 to make food, mom's birthday, and the car payment all the way up to July of 2045. So this is the power of the app. You can set up all of your stuff all the way to retirement, and you can look and see how much money you need to make it to where you want to make it. Put in all your retirement, all of everything that you want in your life, and it will give you a number here. And then when you put in your income or potential income, you can see if you're going to fall short, if you're going to be able to make your goals, or what you're going to be able to do. So that's looking into the future. And it will go way farther into the future. So it'll go to 2100. So it'll go to 2200, however far you want it to go. So now let's select it. And we're going to go back, because remember the car payment was only a couple of years long. So we're going to go back to 2022 and select OK. And we're going to try and find the car payment, and we're going to see that it ends. Now remember, it was due on the 8th. So we'll go back here a little bit, and we'll look at July, the previous week. So if you pull down, you notice that little half round circle, it'll load back a week. Now, look here, you got July 8th to July 14th, and there it is, the car payment, right? $250. So now let's scroll forward here and let's get to August 8th and let's see what we got. There it is. Car payment, $250, August 8th, 2022. Now let's go to September. Look, September 8th, right there, 2022, no car payment. Okay, notice the car payment is gone. So you had put the end date on it, and there is no car payment no more. So from now on, so everything after here, that 140,000 we were looking at, that was just Mom's birthday and food. So let's go back to 2022, or 2020. So that was everything that was reading through the My Budget screen. So again, you just start at the starting balance and go down. It adds in the income and subtracts out the expenses, and then the ending balance under the budgeted balance is the balance that you need to look at in the future. Of course, it's the only one there. Once the week becomes the present week, then you will be looking at the numbers in the activity column. And then you always want the remaining to be a big number. So at the end of the week, you'll see that, hey, this number in the remaining column will be green or red. If it's green, you know you did better than your budget. If it's red, you know you did worse than your budget. So you really want to keep that remaining number there as a green positive number. You either want to make more than you said or spend less than you said. So that's pretty much it. That's the rundown of those 3 expenses in the My Budget weekly detail screen. So there's going to be more videos coming up. We'll go through the different views, the weekly view, the monthly view, the yearly view, and then we'll also go through the summary, the category, and the detail screen. So look for that next video coming up, and we will see you then. Thank you.